Greetings, I'm Sir Stamford Raffles and I'm going to share with you my experiences about the Singapore River. The Singapore River has changed so much over the years. I still remember so vividly how it was when I first arrived. Thankfully, I'm still able to see the events that took place at the river after I died because the grateful people of Singapore have built a statue of me standing by the river where my soul now lives. The river was a good place for me to anchor my ship because it has a good harbour. Near to the river, there were small huts and a large residence belonging to the Temengong. On the river itself, there were some boats which housed the orang laut and they mostly lived near to the bank of the river. I believed that it was a perfect place to be developed into a port for trading as the riverbank was very deep, making it easy for ships to stop by. Soon, trade exploded and many ships were sailing along the Singapore River, coming in and going out of Singapore. Because of this, there were many go-downs and warehouses along the Singapore River. The Singapore River was also crowded with hawkers and manufacturing industries. The people working and living there would throw their waste into the river daily. By the 1970s, when trade moved to Keppel Harbour and the trading ships had vacated, I could see all the rubbish and garbage inside the river. The Singapore River looked hideous, much worse from when I first arrived. But from where I stood from my statue, the smell was even more terrible than the sight of the river. Fortunately, in 1977, Prime Minister of Singapore then, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, hosted many events to clean up the filthy river. It took 10 years before the river got cleaned up and was clean enough for people and the locals to fish at. Singapore River has developed and changed tremendously over the past decades. In the past, there were just residences and warehouses near the river, but now there are museums, tourist attraction spots, restaurants, and even skyscrapers of prestigious companies such as UOB and Bank of China. There were also bumboats available for tourists and locals to ride around the Singapore River to admire the history of the Singapore River. Just like in the past, there are buildings that are used by the government. For example, the Parliament House. I'm glad that the river is still very clean now, which makes me sure that over the next 50 years, it will be litter-free and continue to be a suitable habitat for fish. I also think that there will be floating food stalls on the Singapore River, just outside the shophouses at Boat Quay. This will bring diners closer to the river and to let them see the fishes inside the water. Having more stalls would also make the narrow pathways along the shophouses at Boat Quay less crowded, which may be able to attract more people to dine there as it will be more accessible. I also trust that Singaporeans would know how to dispose of their waste now, so dirtying the river with the food waste would not be a problem. Also, with the increasing amount of vehicles on land, I foresee that there will be boat taxi services that can ferry people from the coast of Singapore to the city near the Singapore River.